Hi y'all, welcome back to another video, you know what I'm saying? We are here with another reaction, you know what I'm saying? Another reacts. So today we are reacting to PlayStation Plus versus Xbox Game Pass from Scott Stash. It is from November 12th, 2025, so this is for 2025, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm a PlayStation, no, hold on. Bring that back. I used to be an Xbox player, right? I had the Xbox One, I still have it right there, but I don't use it at all. And I switched over to, you know what I'm saying, to PlayStation 5. You feel me? That's my first PlayStation console ever. And like ever since like 3 years ago now, for 3 years I've been a PlayStation main and a Nintendo Switch, you know what I'm saying, uh player, you know what I'm saying? So I got PlayStation Plus for a year, bro. I'm saying premium. PlayStation Plus premium for a year. And like I wanna see, bro, what's better. Game Pass, I obviously already know Game Pass slightly is better, but let's see. You know what I'm saying? I haven't like seen much about Game Pass no more. All I'm saying is that Game Pass got better games in my opinion. Well, kind of, but by like this little in my opinion. You feel me? What are you doing, man?
Let's talk about subscription services. Folks, I remember when
Hey, man.
Xbox
What?
Game Pass was the best deal in all of
Yep.
gaming. Now, Jesus Christ, I could piss something out that's worth more than $30 a month. Keep in mind, I have very expensive piss. Okay, but seriously, I wanted to kind of compare PlayStation Plus with Xbox Game Pass a bit more directly for a bit now, mainly because these are both solid subscription services. Like when you look at everything you get with them, I mean, you get so
Right.
many games, especially ever since
Spider-Man.
PlayStation Plus kind of shifted its priorities. And a couple of years back, it became more of an Xbox Game Pass competitor compared to what it used to be. Which is strange because Xbox sort of learned some things from PlayStation Plus. So Sony introduced PlayStation Plus during the PS3 era, and it was kind of just
Crazy.
like for the most die-hard fans. That wasn't initially how you got online multiplayer. They introduced that with the PlayStation 4. PlayStation Plus was just kind of for like a couple of
Why not,
months.
bro? Why do we have to have? Why do we have to pay online, bro? Like I guess like $10, $20, bro. But like, why, bro? Like it should be free, bro. We are pay the internet bill, bro. Why do we gotta pay an extra amount of money to play online? That's so
Bonuses
freaking.
and you
Oh my
got your monthly games and all of that. And then in 2013, Microsoft took that idea and started offering games with gold. If you had Xbox Live Gold, they would offer like a game or two a month.
God. I think I remember this. I didn't really care about it though. I was just a dumb kid, bro. I just want to play Minecraft. I don't
You
really
could
care about it,
download
and I
for
didn't really
free.
have live all the time. It was like every once in a while. My mom would like buy me a card because like I begged for her. Like I begged for her to give me a card. You feel me? It's super hard though. Like I had to do it hard, but or like I had to do a chore or something. But it was not every freaking month I had a freaking subscription to Xbox Live, so I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really into that. But and after and to be honest, I would just play Minecraft offline with my brother. That's about it. And my friend. Sometimes when I got the Xbox Live, I used to play with my friend, you know what I'm saying? My childhood friend. I still talk to him to today. But anyways, point is, I really didn't care for it to be
But
honest.
then Sony introduced PlayStation Now, like this streaming service where you could rent or just have access to
Wow,
a bunch of different like old PS3 games and eventually PS4 games and all of that. But streaming just
that's
never
cool.
really got there. Like it's always something that I think these
Yeah,
companies really want to invest in. And maybe at some point, someday down the line, it'll become like really big. But for the most part, like PlayStation Now, it worked. But I think a lot of people were kind of like, this would be great if I could play these games just right off of my console. And Microsoft took that idea and created
right.
Xbox Game Pass. Pretty much it was the best thing about PlayStation Now, which was like, hey, here's a giant catalog of games. But the thing with Xbox Game Pass was that you downloaded it directly to your system. You didn't have to deal with any streaming nonsense. And a big thing, it was affordable and you had a bunch of games at your
That's fire.
disposal. Hell, I think Microsoft was like practically giving Game Pass away in many cases. I remember it, like you could buy a box of Pop Tarts and get like a weekend of
Free
Game
week.
Pass. So hell,
Yeah.
you could just buy nothing but Pop Tarts for like a month and you could have Game Pass for a year. I'm not sure if those codes were
I
stackable,
think they
but
were.
still. But Sony kind of learned from that, and in 2020, around the time the PS5 was launching, they announced that PS5 owners, if you have PlayStation Plus, you could have access to an immediate kind of like game collection, like a good handful of really high quality titles. I mean, this was a collection of some of the best games from the PS4. I mean, we have like Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted 4,
Last of
Until
Us.
Dawn, God of War, Infamous Second Son. You have Final Fantasy 15, Batman Arkham Knight,
Oh,
Bloodborne.
I don't like that they took, bro. I don't like that they took freaking Final Fantasy from the catalog, bro. It's so annoying. Oh,
It's a
Bloodborne's still
good
there.
collection of games,
Yeah.
but it definitely didn't really have the same
Also,
quantity
all
as
Last of Us
Xbox
games are
Game
in the
Pass
PlayStation
and,
Plus
the
now.
general
That's crazy.
variety that Xbox Game
I
Pass
ain't gonna,
has.
bro. Plus might got PlayStation Plus might have, or like might be better
And to
now.
be honest, if you were getting a PS5 and you had PlayStation Plus, there's a good chance you've already played a fair amount of these games. And also, a good chunk of these games you can get for like a
Couple
couple
bucks.
bucks
Yeah.
used at like GameStop or something. Like the original Fallout 4, cheap as dirt. Many of these games,
Yeah,
like
like
the
the
original
books.
Persona 5,
Yeah.
Last of Us Remastered, those got re-released under like the PlayStation Hits label and were like 20 bucks a pop. So for like
Yeah.
60 bucks a year, yes, you're still getting like monthly games and some other benefits from PlayStation Plus. But overall, like this kind of felt like it's just like, come on, you guys can do more. And Sony did
Right.
do more. In 2022, Sony announced PlayStation Plus was kind of merging with what PlayStation Now was, which was, this giant catalog of streamable games. And they created pretty much a full-on competitor to Xbox Game Pass. And at the time, I felt like a lot of people found this to be fairly underwhelming. But whenever I use PlayStation Plus these days, I feel like I'm always kind of feeling the opposite. I feel like PlayStation Plus is a million times more compelling than Xbox Game
Yeah, bro. The
Pass. But that's just
freaking
my perception. I kind of want to go through each of these catalogs as things are right now and
right.
see like which one really feels like the best value to me. And of course, value is completely subjective. What I find to be a good value might not feel like a good value to you. That's something we just all have to accept, and that's why I'm also taking a sip right here. Now let's take a look at PlayStation Plus first, and I think where these subscription services
Bro.
start to kind of lose me is the fact that
The
they all
price.
have a bunch of tiers, and
Yeah.
that's good to have options and all of that, but I honestly feel like they can be very confusing. I hate the naming scheme here. What we have: PlayStation Plus Premium, Extra, and Essential. What the f does any of this mean? Okay, so Essential is the basic boy subscription.
$10. Yeah.
You get your monthly games, so they'll
play
introduce
online.
like a brand new monthly game that you can download and you get to keep for as
Yes,
long as
bro, we
you
know.
are subscribed to PlayStation Plus, which is a cool feature. I've always forgot to claim my games, but still, like, I love that that's there. Online multiplayer,
You just reminded me.
exclusive
Let me see if I-
discounts, and
if I
a
got mine.
couple extra little bonuses there, like cloud storage.
Let me see
all
if I
that
got
stuff.
mine, you know what I'm saying?
$80 a year. I remember when PlayStation Plus was like $60, and this doesn't really
Yeah, I
add
remember that too.
anything that the $60 subscription didn't have. Yeah, it's $80, which is
$20
pretty
sold, by the
wild,
way,
but
in 2 years.
okay, let's go up to extra. So extra increases things to $135 a year. You get the game catalog, which includes Ubisoft Plus games. My God, buddy, is that really a selling point? But then for an extra $25 a year, so
Yes, new monthly
$160
games.
per year, you get PlayStation Plus Premium, which also includes the Classics catalog, which I assume is the PS1.
Bro, I ain't gonna, bro. Okay, I just remembered, bro. I don't have premium, so I used to have premium for like 8 months. I bought premium for 8 months, right? And I'm gonna be honest, bro. It was a waste of money. I should have just bought like the extra or something, because it's more money spending, right? And PlayStation Plus, unless you're like a gamer for it, bro, like you're a, like OG hardcore gamer, you will not care about the classic catalog. You know what I'm saying? You saying? You feel me? And game shows, which it is cool, but like it's only like 1 2 hours, bro. Not that much. And it's like freaking okay games. You know what I'm saying? They don't have. I mean, they do have some cool game shows, like freaking. That's how I tried. What's it called? Um, Dang, I forgot. But it was like one of these popular games, right? I tried it and I didn't like it, so I didn't buy it at all. That's pretty cool. But bro, cloud streaming too. This should, bro. They should not be. We should not be spending $150 for this whole, bro. $150 to have a classic catalog, which they barely had any freaking classic games, game trials, and cloud streaming. That is nuts. yeah, you get monthly games and all that, share play online, whatever, and cloud storage and everything. But that is not freaking like, you know what I'm saying, worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got a 1 year extra, you know what I'm saying, subscription. You feel me? It's a little bit more cheaper, but still the same
One
thing.
PSP and PS2
You know what
games
I'm saying?
that they started
I get
adding
more
with
storage,
this brand new
cloud
initiative,
storage,
which
share
yeah,
play
for
and stuff like that.
$160 for this being the cream of the crop subscription, I don't think they add the classics nearly as quickly as I feel like they should.
Right.
You also get game trials, which I've utilized a couple of times. I think that's
Yeah, me
nice,
too.
but that feels strange
It's
to be a
cool.
part of like the premium plan. That almost feels like it should be a part of Essential. Like it's literally
Right.
like, hey, you get access to
Demos.
demos.
Yeah. Like
Pretty much.
what?
It's just demos are pretty much all free, man. Why are we putting this behind the premium paywall? And then
What I'm
cloud
saying.
streaming. So, that's kind of taking some of the elements of PlayStation Now. I didn't realize that the cloud streaming option was locked behind the most expensive subscription, but okay. There's also a couple other things. Sony Pictures catalog. I'm not sure what that entails because they took down the movies and TV store on PlayStation, so okay. So taking a look at the PlayStation Plus game catalog, when we take a look at the game catalog with the Ubisoft Plus Classics, all of that, there is over 600 games available, which is ridiculous. However,
Wait, hold up, bro. I just redeemed the freaking games, right, for my PlayStation Plus. Bro, it's freaking 5 video games, bro. Jesus Christ. Outlast Trials for Lego Horizon, Killing Floor 3, Neon White, and Sin Duality of Echoes of Ada. Even though like 3 of those games are freaking mid, that's actually pretty good. And they're all PS5 games, by the way. That's fire. Just wanting to know. So now I have 26 total games from my monthly PlayStation Plus that I'll like forever have in this account as long as I pay the subscription, you know what I'm saying? So now I have 26. That's pretty cool. And they're pretty cool games too. That's why I have Stray, Lies of P, you know what I'm saying? That's fire. And let's continue.
I really hate how Sony is handling this classics game catalog thing because when we take a look at what's included with the classics catalog, we see a lot of the PS1, PSP, PS2
Right.
stuff, which is all cool. You know, I love seeing that
It's
stuff.
cool,
But
man,
then
but
you
like
start to see Beyond Two Souls, the
PS4.
PS4 version of that. What? And then there's stuff like this Atari Flashback Classics collection that was released for PS4.
Ain't no one playing that, bro.
This is just a very strange thing that Sony does with the PlayStation Plus game catalog, is that they consider remasters, collections, remakes, all of this stuff. They consider a lot of this stuff to be classics, a part of the classics game catalog, which I just don't agree with. I think it's weird. I mean, for example, you have the Doom 64 re-release. That came out in like 2019, 2020. It's in like widescreen and everything. It's a full remaster. It has brand new content. It was created for PS4, Switch, Xbox One,
premium, right?
all of that. It's right alongside like all these PS1 and PS2 games. Dishonored Definitive Edition, like the remaster of
Bro.
Dishonored. Yes, it's a PS3 game, but it's a PS4 game right here, which I just think is like confusing. It's not that this is like a horrible thing. I mean, I think it's kind of cool that like, okay, for the game catalog, which is something that you get with the extra tier, which is less expensive than the premium one. It's like, oh yeah, you're getting all of these modern games with the game catalog.
Yeah,
but I think
cool.
it's just kind of weird to take a lot of games that they're just deciding kind of randomly if it's like, well, this is a remake or a remaster or a re-release. That belongs in the Classics catalog. In my opinion, the Classics catalog should just be PS1, PS2, PSP. It would be great if they could get a PS3 emulator going, but PS3 emulation is weird as f***. I'll drink to that. That's why Sony's only ever streamed PS3 games before, because it's too difficult apparently to get a PS3 emulator. It is difficult, but I always think it's a little weird when like this billion-dollar company just like, we don't want to get a.
Bro, I get like if you're like a freaking like a low YouTuber, like a low subscriber YouTuber, like even at 500,000 subscribers or even a million subscribers, but a whole $1 billion company, bro, not getting a PS3 emulator is insane to me, bro. That's just insane to me.
For one of our systems.
Yeah.
That. But I think including re-releases and remasters in the Classics catalog, it's just confusing for me. Especially when I look in the regular game catalog, and I'm seeing stuff like the Demon's Souls remake on PS5. Why isn't that considered a classic? That's a pretty damn faithful remake of a PS3 game from like, what, 2009? In the game catalog, they have GTA 3 Definitive Edition. Like, what?
Yeah, it makes no sense,
Why
bro.
isn't that in the classics
Yeah, I feel
catalog?
you.
Oh, you have the Skyrim Special Edition. You know, Skyrim is from
2011.
2011.
God
Tearaway
damn.
Unfolded. That's a remake of Tearaway on the PS Vita. But then you had Gravity Rush Remastered from the PS Vita,
Wow.
which was for the
Yeah.
PS4, a part of the classics catalog. So what? Because Tearaway Unfolded is more of like a remake. That it doesn't belong in the classics catalog. But Skyrim is a fucking PS3 game. And then you're including Dishonored Definitive Edition in the classics catalog. I do honestly think it's really strange that this game catalog with all of these big modern games is cheaper than the classics catalog, which is a part of like the most primo subscription thing out there. Especially when like, you know, like I feel like a part of the classics catalog, you have a lot of weird repeats. So game catalog, we're getting The Last of Us Part 1.
And
the
2.
classics catalog, you get The Last of Us Remastered. So seeing that there's like 600 games available, you almost have to remember that like there's a lot of like repeat games here. To be fair, this service works on both PS4 and PS5, so that's gonna happen. But I just find it to be a bit of a confusing thing, especially if these are a part of two different tiers where this classics catalog is more expensive, and I don't think that should be the case. I really like what Sony's doing with the classics catalog. I love that they're actually finally bringing PS1 games back into the fray. For some reason, for like the entire PS4 generation, they didn't offer PS1 games. They randomly started offering like PS2 games for a second there, but they kind of gave up on that for a bit. Because like back on the PS3, they went crazy with PS1 games. There are PS1 games all over that store. And you know what I think is really damn cool? If you bought any of these PS1 games on the PS3 and they got re-released on this service, you don't even have to be subscribed to PS Plus to re-download games that you've already bought on the PS3. They're already on your account. If you bought Resident Evil on the PS3, you can download it for free on your PS5. And I think
that's a cool idea, bro. But again, bro, these are billion-dollar companies, bro. They're trying to get everything they can to make you spend more money. It doesn't work that thing.
I think
gonna
that
say it right now.
is cool. I also think the fact that PSP
Right.
games are
Never
available
mind.
is really neat as well. The weird thing is, I think a lot of games that they're re-releasing from the PSP
Bro,
have
super
like
cold.
PS3 versions or maybe like PS2 version or something else where it's kind of funny to see like, oh wow, Tekken 6 is on this service, and then you look and it's
Tekken
the
6?
fucking PSP version of the game. Like, I think that's cool and funny as hell that weird ass port of the game is now available on PS4 and PS5. But you can look at the star rating of this game and you can tell a lot
2.4.
of people immediately downloaded Tekken 6 and were like, oh, what the yeah, I feel like with all the stuff they're re-releasing, I think it would help a lot if they kind of showcase like, hey, this game is from this system a little bit better. Just looking at this list, like Secret Agent Clank, I don't know if that's the PS2 version or the PSP version they're talking about there, because there were two different versions
That
of
looks
that
like a
game.
PSI
What
version.
the hell? They consider Strider to be in the classics catalog? That's like a new game for Strider. Like, Strider is like a classic arcade game. And then there's like Strider 2 on the PS1, but Strider, like, this is like a game that released in 2014 on PS4. It's like a reboot. Why is this in the classic section? However, disregarding all of the weirdness there, I really do think this is a very strong lineup of games. I think especially considering you get a lot of the PlayStation exclusive titles, a lot of these Sony published games, a part of this catalog. I generally find that when I try to look up a game on the PlayStation Store, oftentimes the game that I'm looking up is often available on PlayStation Plus's game catalogs. Now, unlike the Xbox Game Pass initiative of,
they get it for day one,
you
bro.
get your day one Xbox exclusives on Xbox
That's
Game
fire.
Pass. Sony doesn't generally try to do that nearly as much as Microsoft does, where like, oh, this game is day one available on PlayStation Plus or anything like that. They do it, but not nearly as much as Microsoft really pushes that. But I think that's honestly to their benefit. I think think you get just
I
like
don't
a
really think of
good
that.
quality catalog on PlayStation Plus, and I find that it feels like it's always kind of like expanding. I think my main problem with Xbox Game Pass is yes, that's cool that you get day one Xbox games, but at the same time,
That's fire.
there's not a ton of Xbox games I'm really hankering to play day one. I mean, even just
Right.
getting like God of War Ragnarok, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, just like those 3 games right there, just having that as a part of the catalog is pretty nuts. Those are some damn quality games right there. And those are just a part of the standard game catalog. So I would say so far, my preference is going for
Extra.
the extra tier of PlayStation Plus. You know I love me some classic games and all that junk, but I don't really find that to be great added value. It's cool added value, but again, like I said, I
like,
honestly
it's not
feel
worth
like
it,
it
bro.
should be swapped around, and you should get the classic game lineup in the extra tier, and the full-blown game catalog as a part of the premium tier. Essential is fundamentally kind of the same as it's always been, the monthly games, online multiplayer. Extra, you get the game catalog, and then premium, the Sony Pictures catalog, which is like 100 or so movies from Sony Pictures that you can stream. What, Gran Turismo? No Hard Feeling? Like, I don't know, man. A lot of these
Spider-Man,
movies
yeah,
I've
they're
definitely
fire, but
already
like,
seen available on Netflix at one point
Yep.
or another, so it isn't like the biggest plus in the world. I mean, like, I'll take it. You know, if a movie's on there, that's kind of cool. Movie's on there. But, yeah, I've never heard anybody talk about getting
Hey, but you
Sony
trying to some Sony Pictures
Pictures
Core? No one said that.
for free alongside the premium PS Plus subscription, so take that as you will. So, yeah, overall, PlayStation Plus in its current state, I think is decent, but it is definitely very pricey for the premium
pricey and it could be
extra
better.
options. Even hell, Essential is pricey at $80 a year.
No,
But we'll definitely
I'll
see
pay
just how
$80 by the way.
pricey things are by comparing it directly to Xbox Game Pass.
Alright, let's see.
So I remember when Xbox Game Pass was kind of a no-brainer back in like 2019 or so, when it was like, oh my god, this is like a crazy deal. It was pretty affordable, and they had loads of games entering there, and that was around the time Xbox started their Day One initiative. I remember when Gears 5 launched in late 2019, you know, that being Day One on Game Pass. That was around the time that Xbox One physical games started to become like less and less lucrative. Like, I saw barely anybody own Gears 5 on disc. It was all like Game Pass, and that's kind of how we got to the point that we are at with Xbox right now, where digital sales and Game Pass is pretty much all Xbox is about these days. But while Game Pass was really exciting back then, I think Microsoft was willing to take more of a risk on it, and that's why, like, hey, the prices were fairly low, and, you know, it was a brand new thing, and not as many people were subscribing, and it didn't have as much of, like, a wide user base to the point that, like, Microsoft was losing money on it. It doesn't really matter. But then as the years went on, it became obvious that Xbox Game Pass kind of became, like, Microsoft's golden goose, their big idea of, like, the future of Xbox.
Bro.
This is what it's all.
My freaking friend bought the he has Xbox, right? He pays for the ultimate subscription for Game Pass. Right, he's paying like $30, $40, $50 on freaking a month. I think like 30. He's paying freaking $30 a month for the Game Pass Ultimate, bro. You know how much that is for a whole year? What's 30 times 12? 0. 360, like $300, I think, for a whole year, if I'm correct. Let me check. Maybe I'm just tripping. Because I don't think there's like a year. You know how PlayStation, what he just said right there, there's different tiers, and you could get it for a whole year. Well, on Xbox, you can't do that, bro. You can't get a subscription for a year. You gotta get like every 3 months or like a month. Let me see. Xbox Game Pass. Maybe I'm tripping, bro. Hold up. I feel like it's every 3 months. You pay like $3, right? There you go. I see it right here. Ultimate $3 a month. $30. He pays for this a month, bro. That's crazy, bro. Nah. So I was right. Every month you pay $30. 30 times 12. I was right. Every year he spends $300.
It's all about the Netflix of gaming.
I think he already spent a whole $300 on PlayStation Ultimate. I mean, on Xbox Ultimate. That's crazy.
Pretty much. But after all the acquisitions they made, you know, like Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, You know,
That's
prices
insane, bro.
kept on raising, and
Bro,
let's
I'm
take a look
hungry.
at this. So,
I
firstly, Essential.
I just did that.
Same exact name as PlayStation Plus, but it's $10 a month. You get 50 plus
Here,
games
have a peanut.
on Xbox, PC, and supported devices. Now, yeah, Microsoft is kind of doing something similar to what like the PlayStation Plus collection was back in 2020 when Sony introduced that, and that has since gone away, and they pretty much just turned that into this whole like game catalog thing. But what Microsoft does is for the baseline tier of Game Pass, you get online multiplayer, and you also get a handful of games. So in 2023, Microsoft actually combined Xbox Live Gold and Xbox
Yeah, bro. I remember having Xbox Live Gold, bro. Oh my god,
Game
bro.
Pass
Those
to
were the
create
days.
this whole amalgamation or whatever the hell. I mean, it makes sense. Microsoft was sticking with the whole games with gold service for Xbox Live users, and you could tell near the end of Xbox Live Gold, like they were stretching things. They were really struggling to give you like anything worthwhile with games with gold. And, you know,
God
having
damn.
two separate subscription services, one for online multiplayer where you get 2 free games a month or something like that, and then one that's all
That's
about
horrible.
like all of these games that you get, you know, as a part of the subscription. Makes sense to kind of combine them. But then we have premium, so you get 200 games, new Xbox published games within the first year of launch, and that's $15. And then you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which this was a big controversy.
$30.
Price increase for this.
$30 freaking
a
dollars.
month, which is wild. You look at PlayStation Plus's game catalog, and for premium, a 1-month subscription of that is $18, which is still pretty damn high.
Oh wow, yeah, but $30.
Comparative
Yeah,
to $30 a month, and you don't even get like all the cool PlayStation exclusives.
exactly.
On Xbox, obviously. Okay. What are we possibly getting for this?
$30,
Well, this
bro.
is where you get the day one games, and you also get EA Play and Ubisoft Plus. You also get Fortnite Crew. Yeah, I mean, EA Play is a cool addition, in my opinion. I think having all the EA games, and even the Ubisoft games, because Ubisoft has some good games, and that is included with PlayStation Plus, but not EA Play. So, you know, that is nice, especially considering how the EA Play subscription
$5 is crazy.
by itself is $6, and Ubisoft Plus Classics by itself is $8.
$8?
So considering that, okay, sure, comparing the prices going from $15 to $30, I mean, like, I don't even think getting EA Play and Ubisoft Plus Classics with your Game Pass Ultimate subscription is necessarily the same thing as just straight up signing up for Ubisoft Plus or straight up signing up for EA Play. You just get a lot of those EA games and Ubisoft games as part of this higher subscription tier. But still, $30 a month. That is like one of the highest subscriptions I've seen. But
It's
let's
absolutely
see
insane,
what's
bro.
included with all three of these tiers here. All right, so Xbox Game Pass Essential is directly comparable to PlayStation Plus Essential. They're both pretty much there as the baseline. Hey, you get online multiplayer with this. Plus, you get some free games. Now, with PlayStation Plus, you don't get the instant collection of a handful of games anymore, but you still get the monthly selection of some free games, and you get some genuinely really high-quality stuff.
Oh wow, I didn't
Xbox
peep
Game
that.
Pass Essential actually includes like 68 games.
I didn't
it
peep
says,
that,
as
bro.
a part of like the essential lineup. So you do get a good amount of games. Now, there's some weird things here. For example, Call of Duty Warzone, Asphalt Legends,
Bro,
both free games. Of course, with Call of Duty Warzone, I know like with Game Pass, you do get like some extra bonuses and whatnot, but it's still kind of like this retro classics thing is interesting. There's this service on consoles and PC called Antstream that's just this big old cloud streaming like classic game library thing. And Microsoft partnered with them to do specifically basically that exact
emulators,
thing, but for games that Microsoft owns. So Activision classic games, and they also have like some old point and click adventures from like Sierra on there. So the fact that it's cloud based, I'm almost kind of like, why is this its own separate thing? Why can't you just incorporate these things in that Antstream cloud gaming platform or something? Instead, you have the Antstream thing and this retro classics thing, and just the fact that it's all cloud streamed, and a lot of them are like these old ass Atari 2600 games.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I'm like, what? This is just kind of a lame inclusion. I'm gonna be honest. If it was an actual
Like,
like
who's
native
playing that, bro?
collection
Like,
of
come
these
on, man.
retro games, hell yeah,
Unless you're like,
sure. But
unless you're like an Unk status or something, like, it's kind of cringe I just said that, but unless you're like freaking old or something, no one
the
playing
fact
that.
that it's cloud streaming, I'm like, I don't really care.
And cloud streaming, bro. Oh my god, I don't like cloud streaming,
I
bro.
mean, there is some good stuff here. You get Elder Scrolls Online, Stardew Valley, Payday 2. You get Fallout 4, Gears 5,
Bro,
Dishonored
Stardew Valley is always on sale for like at least $8, $10, bro. Like,
2,
come on.
Doom Eternal, Batman Arkham Knight. But you know, it is definitely kind of like,
Vampire's
okay,
pretty
you
cool.
get this general selection of games, and for the most part, it's some decent stuff. But
Right.
you know, it's gonna rotate out here and there. You're not always gonna have the exact same games. At least with the monthly games on PS Plus, you just have to download them that month, and
And you got it.
you just have them for as long as you have PlayStation
Yep, that's
Plus,
freaking
which
fire.
is nice. However, I will definitely say for $10 a month, and for the tier
I'll
that
take
is
it.
all
I'll
about
take
online
PlayStation, bro.
multiplayer,
For me,
firstly, gonna be honest, $10 a month just for online multiplayer. That's a little stinky. But they
It
definitely
is.
tried to make the cost worth it by including all this stuff. And I will say, I do feel like having access to
It's
50 or
50.
so
Yeah.
pretty quality titles for the most part. I mean, like
Not
it's
bad,
not
but
bad,
I don't know.
but I do think the monthly game
Yeah,
lineups
it's
from
really better.
PlayStation
Yep.
Plus is a bit more just compelling, just because as long as you claim those games, you can play them for as long as you want.
Yep.
They're yours, buddy. Xbox Game Pass, it's always kind of like, hey,
We're mixing it
this
up here,
could
bro.
leave at any moment, you know?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is with Xbox Game Pass Premium, this is only $15 a month, and we skyrocket to over 300 games. And I think it's a bit hard to kind of
So right now, bro, it's 1-0, bro. PlayStation winning for me.
see, like, okay, so what's the main draw of Xbox
Not like I'm gonna get an Xbox anytime soon or like ever, but you know what I'm saying?
Game Pass Ultimate? And at this point, it does kind of seem like it's the day one Xbox releases, Ubisoft and EA titles, and maybe some extra things here and there. So, for example, something like Hollow Knight Silksong, that launched on
Day one.
Xbox Game Pass, but that was on day one, so that's a part of Game Pass Ultimate. But when you go over to Xbox Game Pass Premium, it's not there. So I can definitely understand why they wanted to increase that price after they made Call of Duty day one on Xbox Game Pass. God damn, that Activision.
Bro, I spent $70 on that game, bro. 70 free. Actually I spent $100 on it because I bought like $23 worth of like card points, I guess. Hey man, Mike it was my birthday, bro. You feel me? And it was Call of Duty. I haven't played a Call of Duty game for like 3-4 years, bro. Like I haven't touched a Call of Duty game. Feel me? I was like, you know what? Let's play some Black Ops 6. You feel me? It was pretty good for the most part, but like as of now, bro, I can't even touch that game, bro. It's super freaking sweaty, bro. Bunch of random freaking like Fortnite type of skins. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Ninja Turtles, bro. Like what? Like freaking Bart Sims. I don't even know, bro. I don't know. I don't like the game no more, bro. But like when I played it, bro, I unlocked the freaking dark matter camo, everything, bro. I put my freaking time into that game, bro. It
Blizzard
was worth the
acquisition.
$7 though. I ain't gonna lie, for me. I used to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, bro. I actually spend $70 pretty good because like I wasted a bunch of time on that. You feel me?
Acquisition is just gonna fucking kill us all, isn't it? So what do I think of this lineup?
It was
Well,
worth my
I
money.
think
That's
it
what I'm
is
trying to say.
kind of hard to really be able to make much of this when it's 800 games or so, and you know, you're just kind of going through all this crap, man. I will definitely say having EA titles is nice. I play
Yeah.
A Way Out and It Takes Two on Xbox Game Pass. A Way Out is cool. It Takes Two is one of the best games ever made.
For
And I
real?
do think having Xbox titles day
Hey,
one is
hey man, I could buy it right now. It's $8. Should I do it?
nice, specifically because, and this isn't much of a compliment,
Bro, this
because
freaking
Xbox published
noisy, bro.
games
My bad, y'all.
within the past 5 years or so have been incredibly
Disappointing.
disappointing, mediocre, or just flat out bad. So being able to just try
Damn,
them
bro.
as a part of a subscription you're already subscribed to, definitely better than spending $60, $70, $80 on
Dollars.
some of these games. Here's my main thing with a lot of these subscription services. Xbox Game Pass seemed like such a great deal when it first launched, because it's
Right.
like, oh my god, I get access to all these games. My problem with this boils down to the fact that, like, yes, this is a great deal if you're playing a shit ton of these games. To be honest, a lot
Yeah.
of these subscription
No one's
services that I
doing that.
have, it's not that I'm really getting much for the money I'm spending every month on them. There are some subscription services that I'm subscribed to that, like, I don't touch
Yeah,
that
me
month.
too.
So it's just like, yeah, I just flat out wasted that money. But I spend that money primarily because I like having that option in the background.
Yep.
And it is getting to the point where I'm like, this is a bit too much. Like, honestly, like, I should really just, like, cut this subscription, cut this one, cut that one, because it's like, what am I genuinely getting out of this? I'm not getting anything. Xbox Game Pass is something where there's been
feel
like
that.
months where like I don't really play anything off of Xbox Game Pass. It's nice to know that it's there, but oftentimes I find that the selection of games, while it is quality, it hasn't really thrown me anything interesting for the past couple of years. Something where I'm going like, well, damn. I think probably the most surprising, interesting thing is like when Persona 3 Reload launched on Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's something. In fact, I think all the Persona games, when they came out on Xbox, launched on Game Pass, which is really cool. But every time I scroll through the Xbox Game Pass
Man, I still gotta freaking finish that game, bro. I'm like 20, 30 hours into Persona 3 Reload, right? But I haven't touched it in like 6, 7 months. Well, I don't know why I said that, bro. Anyways, the only reason I haven't really touched it for real is because like it's on disc, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to freaking put the disc on, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to freaking spend another $20, $30 on it again. Because I'm not getting full price for the game, bro. I'm not buying it again for $60, $70. I bought it for $20. I'm not freaking wasting it. Point is, bro, I'm not trying to rebuy it. Feel me? But bro, I don't know, man. I do want to finish the game though, bro. Like that's why I want a freaking PlayStation handheld, bro, so I can just finish it on my handheld. You know what I'm saying? If I have a handheld, I will actually buy it. I'm gonna be honest. I will re-buy it. But point is, let's
catalog,
continue.
I'm not really thinking like, damn, that's a part of this. Like, a lot of it feels like it's kind of.
Oh, that game's gonna come to PlayStation 5.
I see a lot of the same kind of faces.
That game, bro, Microsoft Flight Simulator is on my freaking wish list, bro. Even though I'm not like into flying games or whatever, it looks freaking fire, bro.
A lot of the
I hear
games
so much
that
good
you
stuff about
see,
that.
partnering with Xbox and always available on Game Pass. They always pop up at the Xbox press conferences. It's always kind of like a lot of these B tier, C tier games. They may not be bad, but it's also like I just don't really give a fuck about them. Let me just take a look at this page right here.
Like Last of Us is freaking fire, bro. No one cares.
Firefighting Simulator. Firewatch.
What?
I know Firewatch, but I've seen that on Game Pass for quite a while. Flintlock.
I haven't played
Football Manager.
Made.
For the King 2.
Trust.
Gang Beast, that's been here forever. Frag Punk. Frostpunk 2. I've never heard of a lot of these games. And a lot of them look pretty okay, but they're just not that appealing to me. So I would probably say that Xbox Game Pass has like a wider variety of games, but I honestly do feel like PlayStation Plus has more of the heavy-hitting games that I like and the games that I'm interested in. Xbox Game Pass has a lot of good stuff, you know, pretty frequently. But I find that Microsoft's persistence on putting day one games, at least on the Ultimate version, and having games available within a year on Game Pass Premium, I honestly find that that's kind of killing them in many ways, where, you know, they're just pumping so much money into this service. The prices have to go up, but the value there, like, even if they offer 1,000 games, here's my biggest problem. I'm not going to play...
Like they're putting quantity over quality. That's what
even a percent of those games. Something like Netflix, in my opinion, works well because movies and TV shows, while you can 100% devote your entire attention to them, a lot of the time you want Netflix because it's a passive thing. You want to just be able to have Netflix going on in the background, and you want it to be kind of like a high quality show. So then maybe, you know, if you catch a glimpse of it or something, it's like, oh, that's interesting, or, you know, whatever. You know, I love Tubi. Tubi is one of my favorite things of all time. It's a free streaming service. It's incredible. But to be honest, sometimes when I'm scrolling on Tubi, I do kind of feel like a fucking loser when I'm on that app, because like there's some good quality stuff on there, but then like another like 80% of it is like complete garbage nobody gives a fuck about anymore. But I love Tubi for that. But Netflix is like, okay, like here's a lot of the big stuff or whatever. But yeah, just having that all there, especially like, you know, it can be kind of a passive experience.
Yeah.
I think that makes a subscription service for movies and TV shows make a lot of sense. It makes sense to have just like this never-ending supply. Video games, you're directly controlling them. It's kind of like when you're playing a video game, you sit down and you're making a 100% commitment to be like, I'm gonna play this game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't play a lot of games like every year. Most people kind of play like a couple of games a year, and that's it. And
And bro, for this year, I played saving on PlayStation. I played a total of like 10 to 12 games, if I'm correct. If I'm correct, if not 20. But the majority of it were like freaking short, and also it was story mode games. And bro, the subscriptions are for like gamers, bro. Like, bro, like I just said, bro, I've been stuck in Persona 3 Reload for like 6, 7 months, bro. I just said 6, 7 again. Like, freaking dork. But anyways, I still haven't touched Persona 5, still haven't touched Persona 3, and I'm 10 to 20 hours deep into the game, but I haven't touched it in a while, bro. You feel me? Because it's a freaking long game, and you gotta put your time into it, bro. You can't just like freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like go somewhere, like I mean you can, but like it's time consuming. That's what I'm trying to say. Cause like bro, I wanna play God of War Ragnarok, bro, but it's so freaking time consuming, bro. That I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, gladly I will stream it and everything, but like I can't do it right now, bro. You feel me? I got stuff going around. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Once I get my house and everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything loaded out, and I start my streaming, grinding and everything on my streams on Twitch, right? Um, I will play because bro, that game is freaking 20, 30 hours, bro. Like, I'm not doing that for straight. I'm not doing 20 hours or 10 hours straight of God of War, bro. I'm sorry. You feel me? At least 3, 4 hours, not 3 hours max. That's the most I'm gonna do for a story game or whatever, single player game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's true. Most
I
people don't
think
play that much
having
games.
access to all these games
I just love having it on the background, if that makes sense. You feel
for
me?
$30 a month, it only really
Like,
makes sense if you are just grinding through these games constantly.
yeah,
And it kind of gets to a point that like if you want to do
bro,
that,
you do that, bro. You need help, bro. Like, you need psychotherapy or something, cause you god dang.
sure, Game Pass might be a great option for you. But you're gonna get to a point where it's just like there's really nothing else left for you to play. And if it's like if you find a game that you really love and you want to keep playing it over and over again, it makes more sense to just buy that game outright instead of
You
staying
just
on a
buy it,
Game
yeah,
Pass subscription. And to be honest, I have the exact same opinion about PlayStation Plus.
right.
However, at least PlayStation Plus is a little
A
bit
little
cheaper.
cheaper
So
and got
overall,
better
who
games,
wins?
more quality. PlayStation Plus.
Nobody. These subscription
Oh,
services are killing us, bro.
I
It
mean,
is really sad to me to see Xbox
that is
constantly
true.
do these things where it's obvious we're never really going to go back to like those.
But let's that although what he's saying is he's spinning right now, right? He's spinning right now. Like, why we as the consumers are losing and freaking getting scammed. You know what I'm saying? But like in these services, this billion-dollar companies, bro, are winning, earning money every freaking year. But point is, bro, let's be honest, PlayStation won this, and I'm not trying to deride or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I have both consoles. Well, not the new console. I don't have the new Xbox, but I have both. I've been users for both now. PlayStation has better, like, yeah, freaking Xbox got day one releases and everything, and it's cool and everything. But it's $30. It's expensive, bro. It's freaking. It's a bunch of there's a lot of games in it, but it's not a lot of quality in it. On like PlayStation Plus, yeah, we on the PlayStation Plus monthly catalog, we do get a lot of freaking mid games, like mediocre games, right? We do get like mediocre games most of the time on PlayStation Plus monthly games. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of the catalog is not is quality, bro. You feel me?
Xbox 360 days when Microsoft
Uh, I can't even hear the audio, bro. Oh, there we go. Yo,
Microsoft was really,
Mario.
really pushing things, and they were really trying to be like king of the gaming industry. And they're still trying to do that now. They are trying to be king of the gaming industry, but not in terms of the console manufacturers. They just want to be everywhere and be on everything and be the best,
Yeah,
biggest publisher on
bro,
every single platform. And
that
that's
sucks, man.
whatever, but it's also like the Xbox was such a cool brand. It was such a cool thing to have an Xbox.
Yeah.
It was such a cool thing to be passionate about Xbox. I love Xbox, but it's like there's nothing to love anymore. Yes, even at $30, there's a lot of value with Game Pass, but that
Yeah, but,
value only really exists if you're genuinely gonna play like hundreds of these
Yep.
games. And you're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Nobody has time to do all of that. So it's kind of just like, what
Yeah.
are we doing here? The amount of money it would cost a year to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. I mean, I would suggest write down all the games that you've played this year and be like, all right, are they on Game Pass Ultimate? And how much do these games cost standalone? Because, for example, you know, Game Pass Ultimate has all these Ubisoft games. That's cool. You know, you have Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered.
It's cool, man,
Which,
but
I
yeah.
can definitely get that game for like
$10.
$10. And
Yeah.
I just always own it. I don't need to connect online. I don't need to subscribe to anything. I have Assassin's Creed 3
In the background, yep.
Remastered from there
In
on
the
out.
library.
Same for Far Cry Primal and Rayman Legends. All
Persona.
these Ubisoft games that you get. It's cool that they're here, but it's also like,
Why?
again, this is only really valuable to me if I'm going to play these games. And a lot of these games, I already own physical copies of, or I've already played, or I've already bought them, or I'm just not interested in them. So comparing
Right.
PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, I definitely think PlayStation Plus has a
More
lot of
value.
value there. I'm
Yeah.
not 100% in love with it. I think it could
Me neither.
use just some
Again, bro, it does sound like I'm freaking Diddy Redder, you know what I'm saying? But PlayStation Plus is better, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is way better, bro.
sprucing up. I don't like how they handle the classics catalog, and I still think the subscription price is too high.
It's too high, yep.
Even though you
But
know
it's better than
it's
Xbox.
never gonna go down, but still, I do.
It's not gonna go down. It's gonna go even more. Next year's gonna be at least for the premium for 1 year for premium 150. It's gonna be at least 160 or 70 next year or in 2 years. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna go up. And extra is gonna be $100. Essential is gonna be $15 to $20.
I do prefer PlayStation Plus at this point. I'm just more into the PlayStation exclusives.
Yep.
But I still do value a lot of the Xbox Game Pass lineup. But these prices are just absurd.
Absurd, bro.
And they don't make any sense unless
Yeah.
you're playing a ton of these games. But either way,
And no one's
Sony,
doing that, bro.
congratulations on being my favorite subscription service
Yeah.
compared to Xbox Game Pass. So cheers to you.
I'll stick with Google Stadia. I know, like what? $10 less is crazy. Anyway, bro. That's the end of the video, bro. Subscribe to Scott Stash, bro, and me. You know what I'm saying? It's a freaking amazing video, bro. And although everyone already knew the obvious answer, who's gonna win or like what's the better service, it's still pretty cool to see because I haven't been tapped in with the Xbox like that no more. As you can see, I'm a PlayStation and Nintendo only channel. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk or like touch anything about Xbox anymore. But yeah, man, that's interesting. Man, bro, what has X become, bro? This is no way it's my console, bro. That used to be my OG console, bro. That used to be my X, bro. Fake, basically. That was my X, basically. That's crazy, man. But yeah, at the end of the day, bro, it's both subscriptions are super pricey. Not really worth the value. If you're a casual gamer, I guess. I'm like a casual, like I'm in between casual and a gamer. You feel me? I'm in between that, if that makes sense. Because I'm not playing games every freaking day, like a bunch of 10 games a day, you know. I'm playing like 1 to 2 games a day. Like freaking right now I'm grinding on Digimon's Storytime Stranger. I'm playing that game. And I'm in my other game and I play Fortnite and I play FC 26. That's the 3 games I play every day. You know what I'm saying? Because every day at least I gotta play at least one story game. And like I ain't gonna lie, bro, the past 2 days I haven't really played that much of story games. Or like haven't really touched Digimon like that. But like point is I'm trying to say is like no one's playing no one's playing freaking 20 games a week, bro. I'm sorry. So both these services are freaking garbage. bro, like we're gonna do something. It was crazy. We gotta do something, but we can't do nothing, bro. Because, bro, people are still gonna buy it. People are still gonna freaking, you know what I'm saying, buy the services, bro. Both services. And the billion dollar companies just got mind control of everyone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, even myself, bro, I ain't gonna, I will gladly say I'm a dummy. You know what I'm saying? I'm mind controlled by this company, bro. I have to say it right now. I am. Everyone is, bro. Like, we gotta do something for real, bro. Why is freaking Game Pass for $30, bro? Why is it a freaking 1 year PlayStation Premium with only was $150? Like, you feel me? And what are we gonna pay? What are we gonna pay? What are we gonna pay for online? Even if it's $10, let's say whatever, $10. What are we gonna pay for that, bro? To play online with people when we already paid $80, $90 of your freaking, you know what I'm saying, Wi-Fi. Like, you feel me, bro? Anyway, bro, I'm out of here, bro. I just yapped. I don't need, bro. I'm freaking. I haven't slept, bro. I haven't slept. Okay, I'm freaking. Oh my god.
I can tell that you've never been true to me. I can smell that your act is all fearfully. I can hear what you're hoping I want to hear. I can feel the alarm bells are ringing in me. I can touch, but I know you don't feel a thing. I can pray, but I know you done medicine. I can sense now it's all become clear to see. You're no good and you'll be no good treacherously.